Okay, those are some different angles. In Judo, basically, we have forward throws where we're throwing our opponent. We have rear throws where we're attacking the back. We have side throws where we hit a foot sweep here to the side. Different angles diagonally, this direction, or back this direction. Okay, so there's many different angles of attacks. But the most important thing is, if we slow it down, as your opponent is going over, okay, slowly, as he's going over, I'm always controlling the pulling arm. What in Japanese they call the hikite. That's the pulling arm here. If I maintain control here, that means I have control of his body. And immediately I'm following up with either my knees, okay, or my whole body, okay, my body weight, to pin him to the mat, okay? Look at that again. If I was just to take Rio and throw him and let go here, okay, now there's too much space. He can get up and escape. Okay, so as I'm throwing him, I'm thinking to follow into a grappling move. Okay, as I'm throwing here, right, he's going over. I keep this pressure here, I keep this pressure here. My knee immediately comes in, okay? Then I can get the Jujigatame, okay? Or from here into Osaikomi, into a pin. Same thing with the backward direction, okay? If I attack with an Ouchigari, here, as I come down to my opponent, all my weight centers here. I'm immediately thinking about passing the leg here. Right? And coming up underneath, securing the collar. Okay, that's the first thing. If I was just to come in, throw him, let him go, he can turn and get up and escape. So the control of using the grip, okay, on the way down, and the mental strategy of me not just coming in for a throw, looking to end the match, but coming in for a throw, as he goes down, I'm looking to secure the grappling position. And from this position here, you know, I have many different options. The first technique I'd like to demonstrate is Taotoshi, where it's basically hand body drop. And it's, what I'm going to do is demonstrate Taotoshi into Jujigatame, which is an armbar. Okay, to break it down in detail, basically this is the most important arm in any throw or in controlling your opponent to the ground. What you want to do is you want to put your opponent so that he steps forward. Okay? As he steps forward, basically I'm just going to replace this foot with this foot, step across. Okay? And this is very important. Pull down to here. Once he goes to the ground, very important to pull up, and I take my knee right into his underarm right here. Okay, put the pressure here. This stops him from turning over here, turning in that direction. As I'm pulling up on the arm here, it stops him from turning into me. For a split second, you have to control your opponent. Next, my knee is going to come over, foot across over the head. Okay, and I'm going to squeeze my knees together right away to get that, secure the arm. We can't pull it out. And lastly, I roll back, keep my knees squeezed together, pinky down, and then just apply the arm bar here. Let's look at Taotoshi, again to the ground. This time I'm going to arm bar the opposite arm. Okay, in detail, once I get the opponent down on the ground, here, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to secure my knee again. This is the first thing you do, and you pull up, obviously. Okay, but a lot of times they'll come in, they'll switch their hips and come in so fast that you don't have time and you're going to lose this arm here. So what you do is you just let it go. Let this arm go, and scoop this arm here. Okay? Your hands have to be straight, not with a fist. Straight in here. Because sometimes this is going to be tight. Right here. It's not always going to be that easy just to scoop it. Sometimes he's going to keep it down tight. He's going to turn. You're going to have to shoot your hand through here. For a split second, I have my knee on his shoulder here. So that's stopping him, okay? Let's look at it over here. Right here. That's stopping him from turning in. Okay? So I keep my knee here as I shoot my hand through here and then over into the Jujigatami. Let's look at, again, a little bit more detail. Again, he's here pulling up. Now, as he comes this way, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot my arm through. Okay, at this point here, really, what I'm doing now is I'm putting all my weight. Okay, I'm using my elbow here, and I'm putting all my weight on his rib cage this way, leaning down. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to switch my hips around this way. Okay. And this leg is stopping him from coming back again. All right, then this foot turns in, right next to his back here, okay? And sit down, right? Never try to stand up and make space. Always keep squatting down in this position. Okay? As I'm going down, he's still trying to turn out of it this way. So what I want to do is I want to clasp my hands, or whatever it takes, grab my own gi, make sure that you take your elbow to the chest, this way. And once you have the elbow to the chest, then you can go for the arm. If you try to go right for the wrist, you're going to lose it, because, again, remember, this has to all be tight in here. So, make this tight, go for the wrist, get the arm bar. The last technique from standing to ground I'd like to show is a simple basic move, taitoshi to kesagatami, which is the throw into a pin. And once you get the pin, you can control your opponent and use other arm bars or chokes. It allows you to control your opponent for just a few seconds and then work other moves. Okay, from here, slow motion, your opponent goes over. Okay, as your opponent goes over, you're going to take your hand and come right underneath his head. Okay, this way. Okay, important thing is, once you get this, you want to sit out as quick as possible. Because if you don't take your hips, okay, and throw them out on the mat, what's going to happen is, as you're going over, he's going to keep following you. He's going to keep pulling you over this way. It happens a lot in competition where the person throwing throws him so hard and he gets to the hold down, and then the person just rolls him right over. So it's important that, number one, you're pulling on this arm, okay, to stop him from rolling in this direction. Okay. Two is, as you come over and you get around the neck, you scoot yourself. Okay, when you're holding or pinning him in this position, your weight wants to be in diagonal position. Always keep your head up. Okay, you don't have to squeeze your fist. This hand relaxes. Okay, you can either stay on the mat or you can put it in here. Okay, from this position, we can pull up, okay, which causes him to submit. We can take the arm, okay, arm block right here, push down. Okay, and this opens up many different things for Jiu-Jitsu players to attack from. Same applications without a gi, because a lot of times an opponent in a street fight or whatever situation you're in, you're not always going to have a gi. Sometimes they'll have a big jacket, which is just like a gi, and sometimes they won't. So I want to just show how the takedowns work without a gi. They're very effective. Basics are the same. The principles of off balancing are the same. It's just a matter of where you're gripping. Instead of gripping on the gi this time, I'm just going to grab his wrist. And what you want to do is grab the wrist here, okay, not with the forefinger here, but with the second finger and the third finger here. That makes a tighter grip. Okay, you don't want to squeeze too tight. It's the same as gripping a gi. When you grip a gi, you grip with 3 fingers. Here, it's just the same basic principle, these 3 fingers. Okay, that allows your opponent not to pull his wrist out. Okay, from here, what I'm going to do, instead of grabbing here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to underhook. Okay, the opponent, perhaps he's coming at you this way, and if he's coming this way, you're just going to come under here, under the shoulder. Okay, let's look at the throw. Okay, from here, again, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reverse my wrist grab from here to here. If I leave it this way, it's off and upward, he could just pull it away. Okay, so I'm going to reverse to here. The knee stays the same. All the principles are the same. Knee stays the same. Okay, and all I do is grab his wrist, step over into the juji. Same principle. I've got him down here. Okay, if he starts to come through with this arm, I underhook it. Okay, grab him at the tricep or wherever you can. Okay, and from here, again, step across. This time I'm going to grab the wrist. Okay, let's look at this closer. Over here. Okay, this time, instead of just grabbing the gi, I'm going to grab the wrist, or you don't even have to grab the wrist. You can just come in here. Right? Pull it tight into your chest. Okay, from here, fly elbow. Another variation of the same move, Taotoshi, or side body drop, is this time, instead of even dealing with any of this area over here, I'm going to reach out, grab the wrist. Okay, you have this as protection right here. Okay, and from here, come in. His arm's going to bend a little bit, and I'm going to throw him from this position. So let's look at that again. You're here. Instead of grabbing the gi, you grab the wrist, you pull him forward, he steps. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, instead of underhooking, okay, I'm just going to bring my forearm right into his elbow, right here, this way. So even if I don't have the wrist, as I'm pushing the wrist back, this is also pulling off balance. So I've got 2 things pulling him off balance. Okay, again, once he comes down, switch the grip, and you're set for the arm lock. The next technique that was very effective for me, especially in world and Olympic competition, was something called kouchigari. Kouchigari is an inside reap. Let me demonstrate 2 different ways to do it, and then we'll break it down in detail of what are the applications. After kouchigari, the person hits the mat, how do you get into ground grappling? Kouchigari, the basics of it, is as the person, there's many different ways to do it, but these 2 applications, as the person's stepping forward, you're pulling him forward, okay? Now the reason you're pulling him forward is because you want to create this reaction. And as he pulls back, you just kick his leg out, okay? You basically want to kick it out in the direction the toes pointing. Okay, one more time. Here, pull, kick out. Now, this is the position where we want to work. As soon as I throw him on the ground, he's going to get a hold of my leg here and grasp my leg. Okay, especially in the judo match, okay, because he doesn't want me to pin him. So, the idea is, as you're going down, okay, you want to basically plant your elbow into his chest. Okay, now this creates that same control as if you had your knee in his chest. Okay, so as he's coming this way, you want to put all your weight right into his chest here. Now, before he can hook this leg, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise up and stick my knee, okay, scoop my knee right in between and over his leg. Okay, now I have his whole leg secured. From this position here, we're going to jump, boom, right into Kesagatami, or a basic hold down in Judo. Let's look at Kouchigari into an Osaikomi, another Osaikomi pin. To go over the detail, as the opponent comes down again, I want to keep this elbow right into his solar plexus to keep as much pressure on him before he turns over. Okay, it's not always that easy though. As he turns over this way, right, I want to maintain control of this grip here. He turns, right, I want to maintain control of this here, because this is stopping his body from turning over this way. I still can pull back. Okay, so that's very important. Second is I want to come underneath the arm this way and grab as much as possible. Sometimes you can get inside the lapel, but a lot of times you can't. So you just have to grab anything you can. Okay, so basically his shoulder is pinned against his head. Okay, and there's a lot of pressure. Notice I'm using my chin here. Okay, if I don't use my chin, it'll just roll out this way. Okay, so I have to use my chin to stop him from rolling that way. Okay, once I feel I have this secured, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move straight up into his head. In this part here, I'm going to put my shoulder, it's going to go right into his chin here. Okay, pushing up. And that creates a lot of pain, because basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my whole body right into his chin. Okay, it's pretty excruciating pain, and a lot of times the reason we're doing this is because he has my leg trapped. Okay, alright. So as I'm applying pressure to the chin, he's worried about the pressure here. He's going to let go, right, of the leg. As soon as he lets go of the leg, I high step out. The reason I high step is so when he comes to push into me, I can push back with this leg. Then I switch my hips. Here, hips down, legs straight apart. Next move is Kouchigari to a Jujigatami, basically standing to grappling into the armbar. Okay, in detail, as I get my opponent down to here, okay, again, he's going to be turning away from me. This hand, again, is very important that I control it right in here. Because as he turns, that leaves me a little bit of space to pull up. And that allows the space in here. If I didn't have this grip, this elbow would come in tight like this, and I wouldn't be able to get this hand in. So from here, he comes in, and then I reach and grab. Again, the pinky finger here is the best to hold on to. It's illegal to grab one finger, but you can grab them all. Okay, at that time, I release this. At the time I release this, I'm going to come up using my hand. Okay, I'm going to push his head away and get my knee right against his head. Okay, so what I'm going to do is separate his head from his arm. Again, you need that separation for a juji to work. Here, okay, I kick, work my foot underneath this way. Then I'm just going to pull out and stretch. Okay, so basically my hip is against his elbow joint. Okay, this way, pinky's up, and apply the pressure. You want to try to separate this as much as possible. Okay, on the to get the arm. Don't let him pull this arm in. Okay? Try to pull it out as much as possible here. Okay? Post your head, bring your knee, work it out. All right, you got it.